not easy to win a championship. There's only 1 out of 32 every year, and we understand that. But we've got to be that one.
A year full of high expectations, unfortunately not met for the Dallas Cowboys, but it is a year of transition now as we turn the calendar to 2025. Brian Schottenheimer is now the new head coach of the Cowboys franchise, the 10th one of all time, and he takes over for Mike McCarthy after 5 years at the helm. Throughout the next hour, we will go through some of the storylines from this 2024 season, including Brandon Aubrey had one of the best campaigns that the NFL has ever seen at the kicker position. DeMarvion Overshown's season came to a close a little bit prematurely as he stepped onto the field for the first time in a Cowboys uniform. He had a great campaign, and he did something that no one has ever done with a star on the side of his helmet. And then Will McClay signs a 5-year extension in Dallas. His future is solidified, but what is the future of this Cowboys organization? That's the next thing in question. And we've got some experts to talk about it here over the next hour. We've got Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, Barry Church, 3 former Cowboys, our head reporter, of course, Nicole Hutchison, joining us. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. This is a season that Cowboys fans would like to forget, but that's not going to happen anytime soon because the Cowboys fans do remember across the way. Brian Schottenheimer is the lasting impression. He's the one that has taken a step forward from the offensive coordinator position into the head coaching spot. Barry, it was a move that kind of stunned the NFL at first. Cowboys thought they were maybe going for a high-name head coach. Instead, they stay in-house. What do you think about the hire?
To be honest with you, Kyle, I'm not so sure what to expect when talking about Schottenheimer and what he brings to this Cowboys organization, because in his 25 years of coaching, he's never had the opportunity to run the ship, be the captain, be the head coach, and run an organization. But he gets that chance here with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, when talking to players within the organization and even players that have played for him in the past, they both speak extremely highly of Schottenheimer out there, understanding that he brings and gets the most out of each and every one of his players. The only question, in my opinion, when it comes to Schottenheimer is he a leader of men? Is he a guy that can motivate these guys and get these players to run through a brick wall? Because that's exactly what the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys needs to do.
Yeah, I'm on wait and see list. I think along with everybody else. Obviously, Barry just touched on his lack of experience at the head coaching position, but he has a ton of experience in coaching. He's been around for 25 years. His dad was an amazing coach as well. He's had a lot of really great mentors. So now, to Barry's point, now what is he going to try to instill? What is going to be the culture of the team? What is going to be the identity that he can now instill in this team now that he has the realm?
I had that don't dish it till you try it mentality when I heard about Brian Schottenheimer becoming the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And I think I also got a little bit more comforted when I heard from a couple of the players. They spoke very highly of him. And he was already doing head coaching duties when he was the offensive coordinator, like giving advice to guys, motivating guys, kind of what Barry Church had mentioned. And so that kind of gave me that little comfort. And when he also talked about the different things that he wants to implement, that also gave me a little comfort as well. So, again, don't dish it till you try it. We'll see what happens.
You know, when they said Brian Schottenheimer, I don't know why my mind went to Marty Schottenheimer. That's his father. But I tell you like this right here, I just want to watch him starting the OTAs, all of us. We just want to see what this guy, starting in OTAs, how will he command these men? How will the practices go? I think he's going to bring a different flavor, but we need energy. And if he can bring energy and belief into this team, because it's going to be a difficult season to coming up.
No doubt about that, and there's going to be a lot of that talk throughout this show. But the number one thing to keep in mind is this front office is talking about continuity and change at the same time. Get the things that have worked right for this Cowboys organization and continue forward with the things that weren't going right in the rearview mirror, continuing to move along as a franchise. That's the number one thing that's on the mind of Brian Schottenheimer, and that's exactly what the staff in this front office are trying to achieve. In doing so, there's been multiple hires across the way that have helped lead that change in the right direction, one of which at the defensive coordinator spot. It's an entirely new staff in Dallas. What familiar faces could be on their way back, and which one's in their second stint now with the Dallas Cowboys? More of the year-end special right after this.
He's got those skills, okay? He's done that. In particular, he is uniquely qualified to coach our team.
The 2024 Dallas Cowboys Year-End Special, presented by Ford, is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Raise your Dr. Pepper glass to America's team. It's a pepper thing. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
You just keep doing you. You're seeing it well, right? You're executing well. Normal football, okay? Everything below the line for us, okay? You're really good at recovering bubbles. Great drive. Hell of a drive. Go.
What's up, Cowboys Nation? I'm Nick Eatman along with Brian Schottenheimer, the newest head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And, Coach, before I even ask it, how does that sound, the ring to that?
Honestly, Nick, it sounded different when you said it, and maybe it's just starting to settle in a little bit, but sounds amazing. I'm honored. I'm humbled to be sitting in this chair at the head of the table for one of the greatest sports teams in the world. The name rings success. The name rings winning and pursuing a world's championship, and that's something that we're not going to shy away from. That's something we're going to talk about. It's something we're going to work towards because that's the ultimate goal. And again, if we're not shooting for that, then why are we putting in the time and the effort? Why are we straining to do something that doesn't make us the best in the world?
You said that in the press conference. If we're not here to win championships, what are we doing? You also said that Dak Prescott's a guy we got the right guy. He's going to lead us to championships. Sounds like you're a definition of a player's coach. Players love you, respect you. How do you balance making them uncomfortable also at the same time?
Well, if you talk to them, they'll make it very clear to you that I can make them uncomfortable. It's not about that. It's about developing relationships. I never use that word, Nick, but these are real relationships. These are based on trust. They're based on respect, the ability to have hard conversations. What I would say one of my greatest gifts as a leader is I'm consistent. So whether we win a game, whether we lose a game, whether I'm dealing with the star player or a role player, I'm never going to change. I'm going to be who I am. And I think that's what the players respect and love about me. But I know how to make them uncomfortable.
Coach, I know you've got a lot of things to do, so thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to working with you here and so excited about you being here and the next chapter here with the Cowboys.
It has begun. Thank you, Nick.
It has certainly begun for Brian Schottenheimer. It's now a job for him as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys where there's no real days off. And he's had to build a staff ever since having that moment with Nick Eatman and sitting down talking about the future at hand. He started with the defensive coordinator. Matt Eberflus makes a return to Dallas where he served from 2011 to 2017 as the linebackers coach on Jason Garrett's coaching staff. He then left to become the defensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts, having some great success up in Indy from 2018 to 2021, leading to the head coaching position with the Chicago Bears over the last 3 seasons. If we want to push past the Chicago Bears tenure, where they did some good things on defense, Barry, you played for this gentleman. Yes. He's coming back, and he's a highly vaulted defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Without a doubt. I mean, I believe this was an amazing hire by the Dallas Cowboys. Like you said, I had the pleasure of playing underneath Eberflus from 2011 to 2016. And this is a guy that understands and knows how to control a room no matter who's in the room out there. When you look at his defense, it's not very overly complicated. I mean, when you go out there, there's not a lot of checks or not a checks with me with the offense when you go out there defensively. And that'll allow this defense to do what they do best, and that's run sideline to sideline and get downhill and use that speed to see ball, go get ball. So to me, this was an amazing hire by the Dallas Cowboys, and I can't wait to see what Eberflus has in store for this defense.
And we're going to break down some of that later in the show. Moving on to special teams, Nick Sorensen, who was a defensive coordinator last year with the San Francisco 49ers, has been a special teams coordinator in the past, most recently in 2021 with Jacksonville, takes over with that same role now here with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Nick Sorensen is somebody who has a unique perspective because he's been a player. He's also been a coach, right? He's been a defensive coordinator. He's been a special teams coordinator. He's seen it from every angle. So I think his ability to be able to connect and have these relationships, as this could be the word going forward with these guys, and have a sense of understanding is going to make a world of a difference in this special teams room.
Also, not to mention, like you said, he played safety, he played linebacker, and he was a special teams ace during his playing career. That, of course, helping him get out whenever it gets to the coaching tenure. You could say the same thing on the offensive side of the football. Clayton Adams, hired from Arizona. Nate, he's another coach that a lot of people are excited about because he was a quick riser in the offensive ranks.
What I've heard about Mr. Adams is that he's a guy that can look at his offensive line and evaluate them individually and as a group. He runs a lot of different formations. He run a lot of different plays, so you never know what you're going to get with it. But he left Arizona with a top 10 ranking with his rushing, so he's a guy to watch.
And there are a lot of people in Arizona, Isaiah, that are upset that he is in Dallas because they wanted to hold on to him as an offensive line coach, maybe give him a promotion. He gets that promotion here in Dallas. Vast Rolodex for Brian Schottenheimer, and you're starting to see that as he builds his staff. But what are some of the cornerstones he can build around? The offense had some bright spots in 2024. We take a look back at what went well for the Cowboys on that side of the ball.
Repeat every time. Let's go and finish and repeat every time. If you turn in, I'm throwing it on that outside shoulder. Especially when you're uncovered like that, just make a decision to go. You got that, it was like, you almost gave a little it's like, what you doing? You know what I mean? Just quick, decisive. Decisive is always fine. Hey, our game, man. Our game, nothing changes. Keep working and fighting, nothing changes. Nothing changes.
Dak Prescott vocal as always on the sideline, and of course an opportunity to see Dak Prescott all the way up until week 9 of the NFL season. He sustains a partial hamstring evasion there in the hamstring. He's out for the rest of the year, an unfortunate break. He finishes with 11 touchdowns thrown, nearly 2,000 yards, and he had 8 interceptions. It was an up and down year for the Cowboys offense as a whole, but there were some bright spots to lean on. Isaiah, what was the first one that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I think that, obviously the passing game, CeeDee Lamb, what he continues to do. Rico Dowdle showing up in a major way, obviously, in the running game. That was huge. But as you mentioned, Kyle, it was just too inconsistent. They obviously didn't do enough.
Yeah, for me, I look at a guy like Hunter Lipke, who showed a lot of growth from his rookie season until his second year in the league. Rookie season, he had some troubles holding on to the football in those short yardage situations. He didn't let that faze him. Going into his second year, he became the de facto short yardage back. Whenever it's third down, fourth down, they're handing it off to Hunter Lipke. Not only that, he helped the tight ends out as well. When you had injuries to Jake Ferguson out there, and you had Schoonmaker struggling out there, Lipke was the guy to step up and go do his thing. He was also the primary blocker in the backfield for Dak Prescott on those throwing downs. So hopefully he's able to make another leap going into his third year.
And another opportunity to see somebody who has stepped up in a big role. We talked about the up and down of certain star players, Nate, but there was another guy that caught your eye as well.
That's Brock Hoffman. This team needed some attitude about the midway point of the season. Gosh, Zach Martin went down and Brock Hoffman stepped right into there doing what he had to do. He's a tough guy. He can play center. He can play right guard. He can play left guard. But what he brings is attitude, and this team found some ugliness about him when he's in there.
Ugliness. He's a glass eater, as they like to call it. He likes to show a little attitude in there, and that's exactly what Hoffman did, filling in and showing some versatility across the way. You mentioned CeeDee Lamb and Rico Dowdle. There are a couple things that they did well. Of course, Rico Dowdle, first undrafted free agent to have a 1,000-yard season. Can you break down a little bit what went right for those guys moving forward?
Of course. Y'all go ahead and take a walk real quick. Let's go ahead and talk about Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle, in his first opportunity to be a starting running back, not only did he show up and do a good job, he showed up and showed out. Where is he at on this particular play? Here he is. Now, this particular play is what we call a counter. They're going to pull Big Tyler Smith. He's going to come out here and get the backside linebacker, okay? But what is so impressive about this play? Well, this play is designed to go this way, okay? But what happens is he was able to see, right, have this vision and see that not only am I not going to have a lane right here because of these guys who are coming downhill, right? Boom, I don't want to run it to him. He has leverage, he has leverage, he has leverage. So how can I make this play right? It's not right on paper, so I need to make it right by allowing myself to be patient, okay? And by being patient, now I'm using the leverage of my offensive lineman to create a hole that was not drawn up on paper. So I start front side and I work back side, but I have the patience and I have the footwork in order to do so. And because of that, now I'm able to come downhill and get big plays for the offense. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys from a different angle. Fast forward this real quick. All right, again, let's look at it from this angle. Again, this play is supposed to go which way? It's supposed to go front side, okay? It's supposed to go up the chute right here, but it doesn't always pan out that way. So how can I make it right? Put this foot in the ground. Again, I'm going to go back this way. Now I have to worry about one guy. Well, who has responsibility for that guy? Well, I have to give my receiver a chance to get in here. I give that guy a chance to get that block. Give that guy a chance to get a block. And now I'm able to create a hole that, again, was not drawn up that way, but I make everybody right. And that's why he had 1,000 yards on the ground this year. Now, obviously, that's that's not 100, but that's Rico Dowdle. On the other side, who do we want to talk about? Well, there's a dude by the name of, I don't know, CeeDee Lamb. He just happens to be down here. One of your best receivers. Actually, he is your best receiver. Thank you very much. 4th consecutive year in a row having 1,000 yards through the air. This dude is a problem. What does he do so well? He just makes things happen. This is called cover 2 man. What is cover 2 man? Cover 2 man, these safeties are going to be over the top. Okay, and these guys underneath, their whole job is to make sure that he goes that way. I don't want him coming anywhere in the middle, but this is essentially a double team. I have him right there, and the other guy, I have him at the top of the thing right here, okay? Boom, perfect, right here. And then he has a double team as well. Same thing down here. Double team, double team. There's 2 guys responsible for CeeDee Lamb. As you see, he's trying to run a corner route. CeeDee Lamb comes here. He's supposed to press up, and he's supposed to find this window of opportunity here in this hole, in this void, in the cover 2 hole. But how does he get there when this guy is sitting inside? Well, he's able to not only try to get his leverage on the inside, and this guy's going to do a good job of walling him off. I'm walled off. Not only I'm not going to stop my route, now I'm just going to take this thing vertical. I'm going to press him, and then I'm going to snap this thing off and be pass friendly for my quarterback so that there is an opportunity for him to drive the ball here. His route is supposed to go up here into this window, but he understands I can't go with that angle. I'm a veteran. I'm going to take this thing down here, be pass friendly. Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to catch the ball, shimmy shake the guy that's on behind me, and I'm going to go ahead and shake off the safety, and I'm going to get vertical. I'm going to look at everybody as I run for the touchdown because I am that dude. CeeDee Lamb is an absolute problem. There's many problems that we want to talk about in terms of the offense and their inability to necessarily convert in the red zone and things of that nature. That dude just continues to be consistent. 4 straight years of 1,000 yards. He almost had 2,000 yards a couple years ago. Get him the ball, you're going to have good luck.
And that's exactly the case. CeeDee Lamb, 6th in the NFL in receiving yards, and that's without Dak Prescott for half the season. Didn't have quite the season on offense that they did on special teams, though, in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. Brandon Aubrey breaking multiple Cowboys and NFL records. When we come back, we take a look into Aubrey's special season.
This segment is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
There were like 15 total 60-plus yard field goals in the league. And now I have 3 of them.
They want to know about your kickoff.
Oh.
Tell them all about it.
Yes, we kicked the ball. They took a knee because they're scared.
Cowards.
I love no hesitation to call field goal there, too.
Dude, I was standing over there. We went back to the 42. I was like, we're going to hit a 60. 4 freaking guys. I had to watch it.
I think 63 is max today, to be honest.
There are very few across the NFL who can boast that they had better seasons doing their job better than Brandon Aubrey did in 2024. He sets a Cowboys record for most 50-yard field goals, actually an NFL record with 14 of them were from 15 or 50 yards or more away. And you can see that confidence just continues to build. Back alongside Nicole Hutchison, I'm Kyle Yeomans here for the year-end special. Nicole, you had the chance to catch up with Brandon throughout this special run, and that's exactly what it ended up being. Special.
For special. But if I'm Nick Sorensen, the new special teams coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm getting on my knees and I'm praying, thank God, because I have a kicker like Brandon Aubrey. It's so hard to come across a kicker like him. So it's unfortunate that John Fossil is leaving a gem like him behind him. But, you know, if you think about 2023 and him leading the NFL in made field goals was impressive, well, how about him adding to the history books in 2024?
The 2024 Dallas Cowboys season had its fair share of lows, but when there were highs, most of the time they revolved around one star.
64-yard try by Aubrey. He's got it.
Brandon Aubrey, still butter, setting an NFL record in the regular season for most made field goals of 50-plus yards, 14 of them to be exact.
Just having confidence out there, knowing that that's in my range, and then having the confidence in the operation and blocking team around me to know that I can go out there and hit that ball. So they take away all the variables for me, and it's just go out there and hit a clean ball.
Let's take it further. He finished near the top of the league in scoring and made field goals, earning him his second Pro Bowl, the first kicker ever to earn the honor in both of his first 2 seasons as a pro.
Do you consider yourself as the best kicker in the NFL?
That's a tough one. You're never on the field with another kicker at the same time. Yeah. It's tough to say. I'd like to say yes.
I remember listening to the Amazon Prime story on you, and you had said that fear was a big reason why you feel like you didn't succeed in soccer. How much do you feel like that's propelled you to want to exceed in the NFL?
That was my only regret at the professional level, was not just going out there and playing free. I took that really into my training for football and took it with me onto the field, because you still feel the fear, but you learn to deal with it, and you learn that if you focus on it and let it control you, then you're not going to be able to perform.
Came a long way from clocking in at a 9 to 5 and suiting up in the USFL, and all it took was for one person to believe in him, former special teams coordinator John Fossil.
Without him, I know specifically playing soccer, without someone like that in my life and on my coaching staff, I played a little bit scared, tentative, nervous, and didn't give myself the ability to put my best foot forward. And that's what I'd say the best thing about playing for Bones is he just lets you know you're here for a reason. You've got all the talent that we need.
Now, it hasn't all been perfect, but I mean, you tell me who else you can send out to attempt a 70-yard field goal.
It would be an NFL record. Aubrey, if anybody can do it, it'd be him, but he hooks it.
Ideally, a better situation for it would be inside, or just better elements. But, anytime you get a chance to go break a record, you got to go take that chance.
57. This would be a pound of butter.
And now, even in the Cowboys' season of uncertainty, there's a bright spot.
Plenty of leg. Pound of butter.
And hopefully Brandon Aubrey can continue to shine brightly for the Cowboys in seasons to come.
Brandon Aubrey's contract comes at the end of the 2025 season, so hopefully the Cowboys can start to have those conversations soon, because I definitely want to be talking about Brandon Aubrey here for the future.
I love how he is still humble about it, saying, I can't say that I'm the best in the league. Nicole, he's the best kicker in the league.
He's absolutely the best in the league. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I even got a chance to ask him about, having the head coach have that confidence in you, former head coach Mike McCarthy, and he's like, you never know as a kicker if you're going to have your job the next day. So that also sits in his head a little bit, too, of why he's been so good.
No doubt about that. And, of course, no longer with John Fossil as the special teams coordinator. Nick Sorensen takes over. It'll be a new era in the special teams unit. They had a pretty good year this year. Kevontae Turpin also named to the Pro Bowl here in 2024. When we come back, special teams was certainly a bright spot. The defense turned around on the back half of the schedule. How much did certain players like Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs and company play an impact in that turnaround? Next.
This segment was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
I feel the energy back. The energy is back. Yes.
Shine your light.
The energy. I'm shining the light. Shine bright. It's on us. Shine bright.
Be the light.
Show that light. Be that light.
Be the light.
Be the light, Debo. We got to do it on defense. We got to do it on defense. We got to do it on defense. Stay locked in, fellas. Stay locked in. If we just run to the ball, tackle, we get off the field. One play at a time. Every time. We need that same mentality the whole game.
Despite missing 4 games due to injury, Micah Parsons still finishes with 12 sacks in 2024. It becomes just the second player in NFL history to have 12 sacks in each of his first 4 seasons, joining the Hall of Famer, somebody that Nate blocked once in time, Reggie White, in doing so. Back alongside Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, we've got Barry Church over there. I'm Kyle Yeomans here with a year-end special. This defense, Nate, took a step forward midway through the season. It was a rough start, but how do they turn it around down the stretch?
Just being patient, doing their job, learning how to be very disciplined up. And Mike Zimmer, they started about week 6, and they got better and better every week. And I tell you what, that number 99, Chauncey Golson, that's my man.
Yeah, I know everybody likes Chauncey Golson, but they also like the other dude named Micah Parsons. And when he came back on the field from injury, that's when everything absolutely changed for him and Mike Zimmer and the rest of his defense. He started getting after the quarterback. And once you have that guy, that lion that's out there hunting, he's out there driving the bus, it's easy for everybody else to go ahead and hop aboard.
And that's exactly what they did. They had multiple guys step up in a big way. Dallas finished 3rd in the NFL in terms of team sacks, only behind the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens in doing so. And it's because they had a group of guys step up, and Micah Parsons helped open the door for a lot of those guys, Barry, but it wasn't just Micah that got the job done.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, there's 2 guys that I had my eye on when you talk about this defense. One is the bright spot. We're talking about DeMarion Overshown right now. This is a guy that from the very first snap of the very first game that he played in, he showed that speed. He showed that sideline-to-sideline ability that's going to make him great. And hopefully when he gets back from injury, he can be that guy that he was before he left. And the second guy I'm going to talk to you about on this big screen right there is kind of the unsung hero. It's kind of a guy who kind of went under the radar, and that's Carl Lawson. But he provided great depth piece off of the edge. But first, we're going to talk about the star of the defense, in my opinion. You're talking about DeMarion Overshown right here. As we see him at this second level, he's kind of showing some flavor right there, kind of disguising the look, knowing that he's going to get down to the edge once this ball is snapped. As he gets to the edge right here, you see all the vision come on him. The quarterback, the running back, they're all looking at DeMarion Overshown right there, and he understands that at this moment, he becomes one-on-one with the back Singletary right there. And there's no reason for DeMarion Overshown to shake right, shake left, do spin moves, do that, this, and the third. He's in a one-on-one situation with a running back who he's bigger than, he's faster than, he's stronger than, and that's exactly what he's got to do right here, is go right through him. And as we see right there, he blows up this man in the backfield as he's getting to the quarterback. But what makes him so special is he understands right here that the vision of the quarterback and the ball mechanics are going straight to the running back. So don't just be good, be great. Get a hand up in there and tip the ball into the air. And we have a saying when you talk about defenses, it's tips and overthrows, you gotta get those. And this guy is special because not only did he tip the ball in the air, he tipped it to himself. I mean, this is a remarkable play by DeMarion Overshown right there, showing the speed, showing the athleticism, showing the vision, the knowledge to be able to make great plays like this. As we see once again, he lines up on the edge of the line of scrimmage, busts through this guy, Singletary, as the running back, gets his hand in the air, makes one of the most spectacular plays I've seen as a defender, takes it to the promised land. That's exactly where each and every one of the defenders want to go. Now we're going to go to the next guy who I talked about a little bit, and that's Carl Lawson. This is a guy that was a late starter when you talk about coming onto the team for the Dallas Cowboys, wasn't here in training camp, didn't make any excuses. He went into his playbook, understood exactly what he had to do, and made the most of it. Right here, he's got to be licking his chops because he's right here at 55, and he's going one-on-one against a guy by the name of Kyle Pitts. Now, we all understand he plays tight end, but this is basically a guy that's a receiver playing tight end. So if you're a defensive end, anybody, you got to understand, you got to be licking your chops, understanding I got to go right through this man. And that's exactly what Carl Lawson was able to do. As I press play right here, he's able to get the great hand placement, use one of the best techniques a defensive lineman off the edge can do, and that is the dip and rip. And he gets right past Kyle Pitts right there. He got past him so fast, we see the vision of Bijan Robinson right there. Like, man, I don't know what you want me to do with this guy right here. He's already past me. He's getting ready to get to the quarterback. His vision right now, Carl Lawson, is right there on Kirk Cousins, and there's nothing that these two individuals can do about it. As I continue this play right here, he doesn't just want to be good. All right, we talked about in the first segment. He wants to be great, and to be great at a defensive end position, you've got to be able to get to the quarterback. Not only that, you've got to be able to force the fumble as well. Sack fumble, he does a great job right there, getting the ball back to his defense, or getting the ball back to his offense, making the great play. This was just another example of a guy coming out there, late in the season, late in the training camp process, making the most of what he can do out there. And that's exactly what this defense brought to the table last year. You had stars in Overshown. You had guys like Carl Lawson being able to go out there and get the job done. No excuses. This was an incredible performance by both of those young men, and hopefully next year they'll be able to do more of the same.
DeMarvion Overshown, first player in Cowboys history to finish with 90 tackles, 5 sacks, a fumble recovery, and a pick 6 in the same year. And remember, he missed a lot of the season because of some injury concerns along the way. So we'll talk more about DeMarvion Overshown when we come back here on the year-end special. Nicole Hutchison goes one-on-one with Demo. Little update about how he's doing returning from injury.